Okay, well, first of all, I want to say welcome to the channel to Peter Solomon from Wham Bam Systems, and we're going to be talking about your new product. This is the original one, the Cloud, and we have the Cloud Aero XL, the successor. And before we talk about this new product, I want to go, well, first of all, have you introduce yourself and tell me how a guy that makes build plates got into the world of fire suppression.
Sure. So, excuse me. I'm Peter, and I'm the founder of Wham Bam, as everybody knows, I assume. And we started actually making accessories for 3D printers, not just build plates, but that's what we became very well known for, as kind of a side hustle, because we were using industrial grade printers, and the rep movement came along, and the Crealities, the ANETs, all the rest of these machines came along, and we realized that they were great machines for the amazing price, but there were so many different things you could do to improve the quality of the machine, the quality of the performance, the upgrades. And I was just sharing all of my upgrades online, and people started to ask us if we just can't stop sharing how to do it, but make the products for them. So yeah, the build plates were an easy first go, and right away we started to look at everything else that we could do to improve the quality of life in 3D printing and post-processing and everything else. And we've had different focuses along the way of improving safety, which we'll talk about a lot today, and improving just all the workflows.
With the fire safety devices, was there a particular incident that kind of gave you an aha moment, or did a customer approach you and say, hey, I wish you guys made some sort of device to put out fires in the event this happens? What's the backstory?
So there wasn't a specific incident, but I have to say, when we were using these, I don't want to run a bad connotation, but the open frame Chinese manufactured lower expensive machines, these $400 CR10s and such, and you've got a print that has to run overnight, you're afraid to leave your house with it going, and you're wondering what could happen. And we started to have longer and longer prints, and then I did a little research. I mean, everybody should do this on their own. Go to Google and just write in home fires due to 3D printers and look at the images, and you'll be shocked how many there are. And I did that, and everybody was writing to us, is it safe to use these overnight? At that point as an authority, we had to give a response. And the answer was no. And we said, we really need to work on this issue. So that was a major issue, which took us years of development for the first Cloud and another couple of years for the new Cloud.
Yeah, I remember, and again, I'm showing my old age here, for a long time, I'm going to say in the 2016, 17, a decade ago, people weren't aware of thermal runaway, and the Marlin firmware. And, you would have incidents where the print head might come apart, during a print or somehow fail, and that printer would keep on going because, it's just going to keep on throwing voltage.
Some of the Marlins, the boards were so underpowered that they would come with the thermal runaway shut off by default. And you'd have to turn it on and sacrifice other space on the board, right?
Right.
And, it's crazy. People weren't aware that they were there, and they didn't always work. And they're definitely not the end of the solution. So, I mean, there's many different possibilities for fires to happen with 3D printers, and we spoke about many of them, from the blob of death to the thermistors or MOSFETs not working. But it could happen in your power supply. It definitely can happen for wiring and connections, especially something that's always in movement, like the heated bed cable or the hot end ribbon cable. Bad crimping jobs for people who are doing their own installation. And, many times it's user related. You're just not maintaining your machine. You're not informed enough to look for the wear signs and the areas that the cables can have an issue, or the blobs of filaments could have an issue. So there's many factors that can contribute to eventually having a fire or a bad issue. And they should be paid attention to.
Yes. Yeah, one of the things I see frequently online is I'll see people will post a picture of the hot end and a big blob around it because the print has come off, the bed. And they'll say, I started a print and I woke up to this. And when I respond the way I want to respond, I know I'm going to get all kinds of flack, but that's fine. But, I also try to let people know that if you've seen that, you've literally dodged a bullet, because that blob could have combusted, or generated a tremendous amount of smoke.
Could have combusted, could have taken out your thermistor wire, those little teeny leads going to the thermistors. There could be no signal to the machine to tell you that it should not be continually heating up, right?
Yep.
It's a little potent, dangerous element. You're right.
And we're dealing with more and more people are getting into 3D printing. The printers are getting bigger. They're doing more material changes and things like that. Most people will set it, and they'll watch those first couple layers go down and make sure that the first layers are looking good, and then they'll walk away. And as we know, you and I would not go off to work and leave the dryer running, and that's UL listed. We wouldn't leave the toaster oven running, and that's UL listed. And all these other appliances. But a $299 Chinese 3D printer with questionable QC, I'll let it run all day.
Yeah, people using power supplies that are no name, let alone even the better name ones. They have their risks. The other thing that we realized when we were first selling our Wham Bam products were how many people were printing in their bedrooms, or in the washing room, right next to the washing machines and clothes. And there's flammables everywhere. It's scary. They're not just people in an office doing engineering. There's also the home tinker. And the fact that this thing is a potentially very dangerous element, it needs its proper care and warnings.
Yeah, the Cloud Aero, and I know we have the XL and we have a different one, but won't you go ahead and walk me through how this device works?
Great, let me pull one up. So this is the Cloud Aero, and inside of this body, first of all, the rear side has, let's see if I can show you, a Velcro hook patch. And like you're showing the audience, it comes with a Velcro loop patch with a 3M backing that you could put anywhere. Once this is mounted, the way that it works are these two blue and red arms are actually the temperature sensor. People believe that might be where the gas comes out, but it isn't. When a fire goes off, and I'll tell you how that happens, the gas that would extinguish, the aerosol gas that extinguishes the fire comes out of the vent holes all the way around the body. And they're well distributed, so you get really a burst of gas going in every direction outward from this thing. And basically, the way that it works is that when these tubes are heated to a melting point, there is a chemical reaction causing a solid component inside to become a gas. And that gas is the aerosol that extinguishes the fire and comes out of the sides. So one-time use, when it's done, you throw out the product. Hopefully, that $29 or whatever you spent just saved you, quite a bit of hassle and money of saving your home and workplace. And that's basically how it works. The fire is extinguished, like I said, through this aerosol gas that comes out, and it wraps around the fire and suffocates the fire, much like many other extinguishing agents.
Is there any inhalation? I'm thinking like halon and other stuff. Is there?
This isn't as dangerous as halon at all, but you wouldn't want to put this in a bag and breathe this into your face. You wouldn't want to be in a tight space with a fire either. It does dissipate into an open air space in a couple of seconds and is safe to walk around.
And I can see what you mean, because I have several Elegoo Centauri carbons, which, and I got several of the, I got Anycubic machines and Bambu machines, just like you have in your lab. And obviously with this slimline, this will be able to fit inside, the side of the machine where, because I've seen other people try to put other things inside those printers, and there's just not a lot of room,
Or just, if you look at, let's say, the Bambu H2C, the tool changer one, you have all those tool heads and many other machines, and they're all crammed into the space that was for the original machine. And there is room to fit this, which is amazing, just below the tool changer. So, yeah.
And those are printers that are already enclosed. So that's half the battle, because obviously if you're trying to discharge a gas and contain a fire, if the printer is enclosed, that's even better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, no, so you're absolutely right, Paul. This particular product with the aerosol, like I told you, it is a gas and it's not a material substance like a powder. And it needs to be around the fire effectively for a period of time to suffocate the flame, especially if the flame, let's say, was in a little charcoal briquette. It would take a while to get it out, so it would take a little bit of time. Which is not going to happen. You're not going to be barbecuing on your 3D printer, but still for safety, it's better that the machine is an enclosed machine, whether it's a machine in an enclosure or you have a HotBox or an external enclosure. It is possible to use these on open frame printers, and in which case we always advise to put it directly over the heat source at the lowest point possible where that flame might happen. The risk is that the aerosol will put out the fire, but then it will dissipate into your surrounding ambient and it might not dwell long enough. And it's very subjective. It's subjective to what type of fire it is, how intense the fire is, how much air is flowing, what the airflow in the room is. But it is adding a layer of protection even for open frame. We just highly encourage you to put it in an enclosed printer or get an enclosure and keep it that much safer.
Enclosure for the win.
Okay, so this is our 3D printer room. On the left, we've got a line of our FDM machines. In the back, another FDM laser. On the right, we've got our resin machines. And over here, we've got the large Elegoo Orange Giga. And I just want to show you where we place the clouds and how we mount them. So on a large machine like the Orange Giga, we've made mounts that will go right above the hot end. Since this is not an enclosed printer and it's very large, the most we can try to do is isolate a problem on the hot end. So this XL Cloud Aero should help that. If there was a problem with the hot end, of course you can put them inside of the compartment with the power supply in other areas if you wanted to, but I'm just showing you this one travels with the hot end and stays right there, nice and easy to mount. In enclosed machines like the X1 Carbon, you have less space, but our cloud fits neatly inside. Generally in this position, you have plenty of room for the cloud, and since it's heat activated and not flame, it has no issue being in those positions. And that's the same thing for the P1S. For the P1P, which is an open frame printer, we're using the HotBox, and all of our HotBoxes come with a Velcro patch on it, so you could see the cloud is easily mounted there. Other open frame printers like the A1, we do have mounts that are downloadable on our website under the tech support page of the Cloud Aero, and it's just mounted right above the main machine, the hot end, and the power supply. You can see the same thing happening on the Elegoo Neptune. Of course, whenever it is an open frame, we do recommend using the XLs. You have more aerosol to put out that fire. And then on resin printers, if you do have a large cabineted printer like the Jupiter, there's plenty of room to put a cloud on the inside of the cabinet, like you can see here. If you have a regular printer with a cover, we recommend getting a HotBox. This is one of our old beat up ones, but it's absolutely fine to show you. And on the inside of the HotBox, we have a Velcro patch once again for the cloud. So you have the option of mounting inside of the printers, also CNC and laser machines, any other electronic device. You have the opportunity to mount them inside of a HotBox, or we have plenty of downloadable mounts on our website for you to be able to mount them to many different machines, including standard mounts for the 2020 and 4040 extrusions.
Okay, so we have the cloud, and for those folks we have their attention now maybe they're thinking, hey, maybe I should be doing a few things a little bit safer rather than just walk away and pray for the best. So we have the cloud. And, if any luck, if their printer isn't enclosed, it is enclosed, and, air safety filtration. What do you think about other things? Most of these printers nowadays have spaghetti detectives. They have cameras on board. They have apps, so they'll notify people if there's issues. But what do you think of that, plus smart plugs?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, especially if somebody can hook it up to a fire sensor and have the smart plug activated. I think people printing overnight should actually have some kind of a smoke detector that would send a signal to their home app system and let you be aware if you have a fire at home or in your office while you're out to dinner or out of the place. You need as much safety as you can. Camera facing your equipment is key as well, so you can check on the things as they're going.
Yeah, what's interesting is, years ago, the CR10s, Enders, and stuff like that, we have Obico and, Raspberry Pis and Octoprint, and we can remotely check in and we can, get the alerts, and that sort of thing. But, what happens if there is an incident and,
Yeah.
the camera feed cuts out and, maybe you're an hour from home,
Yeah.
what's going on,
Yeah, I wish the machine manufacturers would build in a little smoke detector or some kind of a detector for high heat that would send you a signal, an urgent alert on your phone. We have our apps for our slicers now, so I don't see why they don't start building those in there.
Yeah, and some of them, like I said, I know the Anycubic and you have Bambu machines like I do. You have the Handy app, so that does send us updates. But there are other manufacturers, the Elegoo and Terry Carbon. They don't have an app like that. There are other machines out there that don't have
Yeah.
that ability to notify.
I think
So
it's worth looking into possibly, the Ecobee or the other smart home devices and trying to get a smoke sensor or something that can give you an alert while you're out. I mean, if we're talking about stacking protection, the more layers of protection that you have in there, the better it is, right? Yeah, I agree. And, that was one of the reasons for the cloud. It's self-standing, no batteries. It'll last for 10 years, and it doesn't have to be connected to anything. It just is there to work, right? And that was its point. I don't think that's the only thing you need. Everything else you can do to improve your safety, like we were just talking about, and you'll have a very good safety stack if you've thought it through.
if you could have that newbie's undivided attention for 90 seconds, what would be the one piece of advice or the single action? What would be the takeaway from watching today's video?
I think do your research and be aware. So a little bit of digging and research about your machine brand, about the potential issues and what the solutions are gives you so much more than just going into this blind and putting it on your shag rug, as you just mentioned, and hoping that that no-name printer that you just bought is going to behave as you expected. So I think do a little bit of research, find out what the forums are saying about the fire safety, if there have been signals out there, and find out what solutions you have to protect yourself.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. A lot of people approach me saying, what do you think of this model, this brand, or whatever? And I just tell them, hey, watch a bunch of the reviews, check the comment section. That's usually a gold mine right there. And then usually they have their own, Reddit group, or they might have their own Facebook group. And,
Absolutely.
And, typically, rarely do people say, hey, my machine is awesome. I mean, the majority of the, commentary is going to be, this sucks, or this doesn't work, or
Yeah,
I'm
you
having
gotta
an
take it with a
issue.
grain of salt. But if they're talking about potential fires, that's worth looking at, or potential issues. And definitely, if you're going to do any of your own upgrades, DIY stuff, learn how to work with the electrical elements properly if you are not an engineer or electrician, right? There are many things that you could do to be putting more harm into your machine than it was built with as well.
Okay, before we wrap up, a couple comments. I just want to say thank you to Peter from Wham Bam Systems for agreeing to do the interview, providing me that tour video so you could see how the cloud is installed on various machines. So thank you very much, Peter. Appreciate that. Also, there's a coupon code. You probably saw the graphic earlier, but if you use the coupon code "We're Nerdy as Cool," that will save you some money, so check that out. Also, I just want to mention that I do have a link down below for a Ko-fi. That's a way that you can support me directly. These videos are great fun to make, but they take a lot of work and a lot of scripting and all that fun stuff behind the scenes. If you like content like this and you want to see more of it, I'd appreciate it if you check out that link. And hey, if you want to throw me a couple bucks, I appreciate you. Thank you for doing so. So as I mentioned, we're wrapping up, and if you want to see what else I'm working on, check out my social media. I am on Instagram, I'm on X, I'm on Facebook, and of course here on YouTube. I thank you guys for watching. I'm looking forward to your comments in the comment section down below. And as I always say at the end of all my videos, please print safe